Hello, everyone. I'm here with Alex Langer, President and CEO of Sierra Madre Gold and Silver, as well as Greg Liller, Executive Chair and Chief Operating Officer of Sierra Madre. Welcome, Alex and Greg.
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having us again.
Thank you.
Pleasure. We're doing the backstage interview for the Metals Investor Forum. Alex and Greg, thanks for your time to dig a little deeper on Sierra Madre today.
Well, it's our pleasure.
All right, so why don't we dig into some specifics? There've been some exciting confirmation drill results recently at Tepic. Maybe Greg, you could address and give us a little elaboration on that.
Yeah, the program was designed to basically confirm the previous operator's drill results. They had used core exclusively, and numerous technical reports cited recovery issues. So we just wanted to verify the results, and I was quite pleased with it. The results came in almost identical in most cases. We did find some new zones, mostly because the previous operator did not sample their entire core. They just did select intervals within what they drilled, so they overlooked a few things. And some of those were quite nice. I mean, we had, what was it, hole 12, 15 meters of 419 grams equivalent silver. So hopefully these things will hold up dip and along strike, and could potentially influence the economics and allow us to do some open cut mining. At the same time, we would be developing an underground, but a lot of that will all shake out in the PEA that we're planning for next year after we finish our phase 2 drilling and then get out a new resource estimation.
Excellent. I know that at Latigra, which is a recent acquisition, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that, but I'm just wondering what, if any, potential synergies there may be with Tepic in terms of distance and eventual production.
Yeah, they're fairly close together. They're only 148 kilometers apart. Most of that's along the Pan American Highway, which is basically a freeway. And our whole concept behind Sierra Madre has been to focus on the state of Nayarit and the immediately adjacent areas, and develop a group of producing properties, all feeding one central facility. So this fits right in with what we were planning. And as I've said before, I've been looking at the Latigra district, the Distrito del Tigre, as it's historically been called, for quite a number of years. And it was held by Grupo, and we've developed a good working relationship with them, I think, is the way to put it. I think Alex said we're only the second junior they've ever done a deal with, and it's been quite a while since they did that first deal, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So it really came through, I guess, management. Some of our directors have some good relationships in Mexico. We're fortunate enough to meet with them. It's almost been about 3 years in the making, developing that relationship. When we finally sat down to discuss acquisition of the project, it's been about 2 years, and COVID definitely slowed things down. Also takes a while for the groups, especially one of that size, the third largest copper company in the world, to trust you and to understand that what we're doing is going to be beneficial for everybody. They've had these projects for close to 30 years and really haven't done much. So kind of goes to show, at least our management team, that we have the ability to execute and to do deals with majors, which a lot of juniors, I don't think, have the capacity to be able to do that.
Yeah, Grupo's got a nice portfolio of gold, silver, gold projects, but you have to remember Grupo has Cananea, which is one of the premier world porphyry deposits. I was familiar with a consulting group about a decade ago, and every year they would do an updated life of mine reserve report for the banks. And at that point in time, the mine life was like 110 years. And then on top of Cananea, when they acquired Sarco, they got, I think it was a 70% interest in Southern Peru copper, which is also one of the world's premier copper deposits. They actually have a couple of them. In fact, I think there's some of the highest grade porphyries currently being mined. So it's hard for a gold or silver mine to compete with that. It's I don't even think the Carlin can compete with Southern Peru copper's cash flows or Cananea, especially in light of the new base metal prices. So these properties have just kind of languished there. So hopefully it's a start on a long-term relationship for us.
Let me ask you, we talked about how, you may develop with this hub and spoke format. Would the hub be around Tepic?
Economics will determine that. Economics plus land purchases, the issues behind that, and permitting. You want to put it in a place where it's you're able to rapidly permit it, and you want to own the land that you're on. So that'll be a decision that will come out of maybe the PEA or additional studies later on. But now we're looking around, and as Alex has said before, there are operating mills in Nayarit, so it might be advantageous to talk with those people also.
Yeah, we have a bit of optionality still at this stage, Peter. So, being 140 kilometers away between the two projects, theoretically put something in the middle, that could be an option. Or if Tepic's going to be a larger portion or going to be first, then maybe you make it a little bit closer. Actual transportation costs of material, once you're actually in production, is quite low, especially in Mexico, especially on the highway, fuel costs are quite low. So it really isn't much of a surcharge in terms of transportation. So it gives us quite a bit of flexibility. And as Greg mentioned, whatever makes sense environmentally and permit wise, and also gives us the space to expand. That's kind of where it's going to be ending up. So that'll come out in the PEA, hopefully.
And interestingly enough, the Pacific Coast Rail Line, which also happens to be owned by Grupo, the railhead is about 3 kilometers, or there's a rail siding, I should say, 3 kilometers from the Tepic project. It's actually right where the paved highway ends going into the project, and it runs all the way through Acapaneta, which is the major city that's probably 25, 30 kilometers from Tepic. So there's some optionality there too.
Interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about the acquisition terms? There's a royalty, potential JV on Latigra.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to make it a win-win situation as things progressed with Grupo. Again, they haven't really done a deal with the junior in a very long time. So the way we structured it is we took on the project. We, in essence, control 100% of it for the time being. Within 3 years, we need to deliver an NI 43-101 resource report. Now, if that resource report includes over 1 million ounces, this is gold specifically, of measured and indicated gold, then Grupo has the right to back in for 51-49% joint venture. So it's really just upside protection for them. If not, if we don't hit that milestone, or if they elect not to proceed, then they would get a 2.5% NSR, which we can buy back 1.5%. So they're protected both ways. Leaves a lot of potential upside for us as well. So it's a strong deal they're very comfortable with, and we're happy with that as well. For us, the capital outlay is only $1.5 million over 3 years for a project, which really is quite exciting. Historic numbers are over 10 grams gold production, as well as over 350 grams silver. So really, really high grade. So if we get something close to that, and even you don't need that many ounces to make a profitable mine at those grades, that's for sure.
All right, maybe we can squeeze in one last question.
Sure, great.
Maybe, and it's a little bit, sort of, I guess, sort of bigger picture. But can you give us some idea of what the potential looks like for future acquisitions?
We're always looking. I mean, if you're going to have this hub and spoke, you need a fair number of spokes. So, we're always looking at new projects. And we're also looking for producing projects. I mean, our goal is to become a producer. So if the terms are right, we may end up buying a mine.
Yeah, as it stands, just to remind everybody, we have about 12 million in cash. We're going to use between 4 and 5 million of that for the 2 drill programs at Tepic and at Latigra. So we still have a good amount of capital left. So if there's an opportunity where we needed to put a deposit down, we can do that right away. We also have some deep-pocketed investors that kind of see our vision and believe in it. So they had obviously invested in us during the IPO. And if all went well, and if we had a good acquisition that they were also comfortable with, there's expectation that they would be able to invest more to help with those acquisitions or production costs or whatever might come forward.
Excellent. Well,
so, yeah, we're looking pretty aggressively still.
Great. Thanks to both of you for this great overview. Greg and Alex, I appreciate your time, and I'm sure the viewers will as well.